Okay, we're in the home stretch now. All that's left is to take everything we've done so far and aggregate it into one really beautifully designed package using Adobe InDesign. So this whole module is about InDesign and putting together our finished menu design for Parmigiano's Pizzeria. I'm really excited about it, but first we've got to get some housekeeping out of the way, so I want to make sure you're comfortable in InDesign before we get going. There are a couple of courses you need to check out on the way if you want to get everything out of InDesign that's possible. First and foremost, InDesign Essential Training with David Blattner, one of the best InDesign courses in the world. And there's a small chapter at the beginning called Learn InDesign in 30 Minutes, which should get you up to speed on just about everything we're going to do in here faster than I could do it. So go ahead and check that out. And also don't forget to check out David and Anne-Marie's other courses, including InDesign Secrets, which is a great series here at lynda.com that gives you lots of InDesign tips, tricks, and time-saving workarounds. All right, without further ado, let's get into InDesign and start working. Let's go ahead and create a new document right here by going to the New button or by going to File, New, and choosing Document. Either one is fine. When you're creating a new document in InDesign, something interesting becomes available. This little preview button down here, when you click that, InDesign automatically jumps you into a workspace and shows you a representation of the document. This lets you know right off the bat whether or not you're on track with exactly what you want to create. So in this case, we are creating a print document. We do have a number of pages that we want. So we have a front cover, a back cover, and 2 inside pages. So really, that's going to be 4 pages total. So 4 pages. And so that's actually going to create this in the document itself. It's kind of hard to see, but they are there. You saw the little scroll bar change over there. Facing pages, that means do you want the inside pages to actually be facing one another, or do you want them to be stacked one on top? We're going to go with facing pages for now. Do you want a primary text frame already on the document, meaning do you want just a blank text frame in there so you can just start putting stuff in? I'm going to leave that alone for now. Your page size, we want letter, obviously. Now, this is based in picas. If you're not comfortable working with picas, that's okay. You can always type in your measurements using inches. So, for instance, if I wanted 8.5 inches, when I press the Tab key, InDesign automatically calculates that for me. So you don't have to worry about that. Columns, how many columns do you want? In this case, just 1 for now. If there's a gutter, how big do you want that to be? And then, of course, margins. And then underneath, bleed. So, of course, we want bleed. So let's go down here to the bleed. Let's tap with our up arrow keys. And you can see that it increases the bleed. If you want to get really precise with it, just type in. So remember in Illustrator, we used 0.125 inches of bleed. So we'll just type that in, 0.125 IN, and then press the Tab key. That's automatically going to give us an 1/8 of an inch bleed all the way around. And we're pretty much ready to go. Once we have everything set up in this document, we go OK, and now we have the new document set up for us. So let me scroll through here. Here you can see there's your facing pages, and there's your back cover. All of that is in the document. So this is the document window. This is where you're going to be doing all of the work inside of InDesign. But let me give you a brief tour of InDesign so you know where stuff is as we continue to work. So first things first, up here at the top, that's of course the menu bar. It's the same in InDesign as it is in any other application. When I tell you to go to the object menu, transform, you know how it works by now. Let's go ahead and close that up. Underneath here, we have the jump menu where you can go to Bridge, search Adobe Stock, change the zoom level, change your view options in terms of what you're seeing on the screen at any given time. You can also change between normal, preview, bleed, and slug mode, and also jump into a presentation. Over here, you can control how the documents tile if you have multiple documents open at a time. And on the far right-hand side of this bar, you have something called Publish Online, which we'll discuss towards the end of this chapter. You also have this workspace jump menu, the same as you would see in any other Adobe app, making it easy for you to jump between these different modes or simply reset the current workspace you're in. Underneath there, you have this control panel, and this control panel has all of the options that are going to be available to you based on the tool that you have selected at any given time. So, for instance, the type tool would change these to be type options. The pen tool would change these to have pen tool related options, and so forth. Same holds true for most of the tools over here. There are certain tools that share options, so you won't see a lot of change between some of the tools, but when you're switching from major activities like setting text or drawing shapes, you will see almost the entire bar change appearance. All of that is done to help you get work done faster. Your tools are over here on the left. As you can see, it can be single or double column. Either way, same thing as in Photoshop or Illustrator. It's totally up to you how you have this displayed. You have your rulers out on the document. And remember earlier I talked about picas? You can change that by right-clicking the ruler and choosing something like inches. and it will instantly change your document over to the unit of measure that you prefer. So if you are in the US and you're using inches, or if you're in another country that uses the metric system, then you can change that to any point that you want just by right-clicking and choosing. As I said, this is your document window, and over here are your panels. InDesign at first look doesn't have a whole lot of panels over here, but if you go to the window menu, you will see there's no shortage of options of things you can bring on the screen. So as you're working in InDesign, if you don't find a panel that you want over here in this Essentials workspace, just go over here and find it. So let's say, for instance, that I wanted the CC Libraries panel to pop up, but I didn't know where it was. I can click, it automatically opens for me over there. If that panel had not been in this interface at all, let's say, for instance, I closed it, by going to the window menu and choosing CC Libraries, it would automatically pop up in the last location that I had it docked. Then I could just move it back and put it right back where it belongs. So that's a brief overview of Adobe InDesign. Most of the stuff that you need to know in here, we're going to learn on the fly as we start creating our document inside of InDesign. So I hope you're ready. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is the part where everything comes together and we really make some magic.